Hi everybody, my name is Christy Greenwood-Bortz and I am starting this new channel. It's a channel about cookbooks. I don't think of it as a channel that reviews cookbooks because the cookbooks I'll be showing you are all cookbooks from my own personal library. At this point I've been collecting cookbooks. Well, I bought my first one I believe in 1981. That ages me obviously, but in 1981, and I continue to purchase them. So at this point I have probably a little over 1,000 cookbooks. I'm very picky about them. And so the reason why I say that this is not really your traditional reviews is because if they're in my library, I obviously love them. So that being said, I want to talk a little bit super briefly about why I'm doing this. So the reason for this channel is to connect to other people who are as crazy about cookbooks as I am. So I would love, love, love to hear back from you. We're going to be starting this very first video. I did do some YouTube back in 2007, completely different channel, all about hair loss during chemo. A lot has changed in that 17 years. I obviously have hair, which is really wonderful. And in that interim of 17 years, I started my own cookie business, and that is where I am right now. So you can see my ovens behind me. And you may unfortunately hear the phone ring or something happen in here. I know nothing about editing, and if I stop to learn editing, I'll never be brave enough to restart this process. So rather than just continuing to put off something that I wanted to do forever, today we're just gonna go straight forward, and I promise that if you stick with me over the next few months, maybe I'll learn something about editing and making this a little more professional looking, but that's really not my goal right now. My goal is just to talk about cookbooks again with like-minded people and share community and the love of these wonderful books, which I've been reading as my bedside reading, my bathtub reading, my professional reading. There are cookbooks in my car, there are cookbooks in my bathroom, there are cookbooks in every room of my home. My goal, dream, is to have a cookbook library, which is in the works, and hopefully over the course of however long this channel stays alive, I can show you the final product. But right now it is so far from that, that's why we're doing this here in my business. And yes, I do still have a business. I bake in these ovens every day. So cookies are my day job. This is just my passion. So with no further ado, I'm going to show you the first cookbook that we're going to do today. And because it's one of my all-time favorites, don't be surprised if I redo it again in the future when I'm more savvy and able to bring more to the table. I imagine that I will look back at this video at some point and be like, oh my God, like how terrible did that look? It was so primitive. Again, if I don't start now, I won't start. I had someone tell me years ago that I couldn't do this because I'm not a young hottie. And so this video is as much for other people out there that want to be brave, do their thing, don't be told no. So today, I'm not taking no. I'm never gonna be a young hottie. I'm always gonna be getting that much older. And in the meantime, I'm tired of putting it off. So, that being said, like I said, I have about 1,000 cookbooks, and the one I'm about to show you is in my top 10. I don't know about you, but I kind of daydream sometimes in a weird way about what would I do if I had to give away all my cookbooks and only have 10. Or I was on a shipwreck at an abandoned island. What cookbooks would I want if I could only have 10? Blah, 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 blah. Well, so she's always on my list. Judy Rodgers, the Zuni Cafe Cookbook. This, to my mind, now a lot of people out there will tell you this is a great cookbook, but in my opinion, everybody should be saying this is a great cookbook. I'm not here to tell you what you need. I'm just telling you what I love, and hopefully you can reach out and tell me what it is you love. I'm gonna read a very quick little quote out of the front of this book, and I think that will tell you everything you need to know, about this book, and also a lot about why I'm doing this channel. So Judy Rodgers says, I cannot make a dish without trying to conjure where it came from, and where I first had it, or read about it, or who made it, or taught me to make it, and who grew the vegetables, raised the chickens, or made the cheese, and where. In this way, the simplest dish can recall a community of ideas and people. And that is exactly what I've always wanted in my life, is a community of like-minded people to share ideas with. And even more so, a glass of wine and some food. This cookbook, written by Judy Rodgers, unfortunately we lost her in 2013. She died of cancer in 2013. To my mind, this cookbook is written for everybody. It's for professionals, and it's also a book for someone who knows nothing about food and cooking, but really wants to know, somebody who's truly motivated, because Judy is an amazing teacher. She doesn't just jump into recipes and expect you to understand. She studies techniques and she explains why she does things and the way she does them. I'm not gonna give this all to you, but a quick example in her contents. She starts not with like, here you need measuring spoons and you need a scale. She starts with what to think about before you start and while you are cooking. Then she moves on to deciding what to cook, the habit of tasting, finding flavor balance, the practice of salting early, and on and on. She teaches you. Every single person could learn something from this book. I have made so many recipes from this book, and honestly, I just said, so many cookbooks, and I have them for inspiration. I have them for plain entertainment. I don't cook out of a lot of them. I get ideas from them. This book is an exception. I have cooked so many things out of this book. And not only that, when Judy was still alive, and Zuni Cafe is still around for those of you who want to visit, but I have eaten at her restaurant several times, and I purposely ordered from the menu things that I had made out of her book to see how similar they were, and she does not hide anything. What you make from her book is what she serves at the restaurant. She doesn't leave out ingredients or technique out of her book. She gives you the whole thing in her recipes. For instance, her signature recipe, which is roast chicken with bread salad, it's a 5-page long recipe. And not because she's just, thinks you know nothing. It's because she wants to share everything. So other recipes, just to give you a quick idea of the things that I've really enjoyed: the butter lettuce with oranges, avocado, and shallot vinaigrette. I have made the roast chicken, of course. It's delightful. I've made the chicken braised with figs, honey, and vinegar. Duck braised with red wine and prunes. Guinea hen with bay leaves and Madeira and dates. I have enjoyed everything from reading her essay on how to cut up a rabbit to just fun stories about what happens in their restaurant. So again, I'm not trying to tell you what you need, and I don't know about you, but when I am choosing a cookbook, I typically start out by ordering them from the library to see if there's something that I want to add to my own library, because to me, I don't want to water down my collection. I always want to make sure that my money is well spent. I work hard for my dollars. Cookies, it takes a lot of cookies to buy a book. So I typically get my books out of the library, and then if I love them, then I try and get them from a used bookstore, because I like to support used bookstores. Or I have one of my favorite independent bookstores order it for me. In this case, Judy Rodgers is probably in every good, well-stocked library. So if you're like, I don't know about Christy, maybe she knows about this book and maybe I wouldn't like it, or I want to know if I like it, then by all means, order it from the library and see what you think. And then please tell me what you think. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet today. Again, I expect that I'll look back on this years from now and be like, oh my goodness, I didn't know what I was doing. But let's start. And I'm hoping to put out one video per week. And you know, the great thing about talking about something you love so much is that, for instance, I pick up Judy Rodgers' book to tell you guys about it, and then I'm suddenly reminded, oh my goodness, I want to try this and this and this and this and this. So it gives me an opportunity to revisit my loves. So I probably won't be able to get more than one video out a week, simply because I'll get sucked in. So thank you so much. I hope to see you in the comments. If I can figure out how to make a comment section. I haven't figured out even how to make a subscribe button yet, but I will figure it out. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.